What's up, gang? Welcome back to another video. It is your girl Shanika, and I'm back with another histology video for you guys. Today I'm deciding to do this video on some strategies that you guys can use for studying for the Ascp. Of course, I have a couple videos on my channel, so you guys check out the playlist that I'll be leaving at the end of this video to help you guys pass the board certification, which is the BOC, so you can actually pass your board exam to become the best histotech that you can be. So before we get into this video, do not forget to join the gang, subscribe to my channel, and thumbs up this video if you find value out of my content. So yeah, let's go ahead and get right into the video. So if you guys are currently studying for the BOC, or if you guys will be going into your clinical soon and then also studying for the board of certification, I have came up with 3 strategies to help you guys study for the BOC. So I decided to take one of the viewers' questions and actually go ahead and elaborate and make a video off of it. So this tip, you guys, should definitely help you out if you are currently studying for the board of certification and you need some study tips. This question came from Veronica. She said, I really enjoy your videos. Could you do a video about taking notes from the textbook? I tend to copy everything down. What did you do? All right, Veronica, thank you so much for your question, girl. You know I got your back. Before I get into that answer though, I want you guys to check out the playlist of my Ascp study guides, my last minute study tips for the Ascp. Some of those videos should definitely help you guys out. This question was a little bit different because everyone's study strategy is different. So I decided to come up with 3 different study strategies that you guys can use to pass the Ascp. So strategy number 1. So the first strategy would to get all your study material together. What that means is find out everything that you're going to be using to study for the board. So that way, whenever it's time for you to study, you don't try to go through different material at the last minute, or you want to make sure you stick to the same material, so that way you can get some type of rhythm and flow for what you're studying, and that way it can actually, you know, flow together. The mother, y'all know who the mother is, the mom, which is this baby right here, Frieda Carson. Your main textbook, if your textbook does not look like mine, because this is the I think the 3rd edition. So whatever your textbook is that you have for class, your main textbook, your mom, your mama, your mother, Frieda Carson, that is the main book that you definitely need to pass the Ascp. So that is one piece of study information, right? The next piece of study information would be whatever you're going to use to have your Ascp questions study guide from. So this is the BOC study guide. So whether you have this book or any study guide book, that's the questions that are going to be on the board of registration, and these are with the questions and the answers. So make sure you have the BOC book, which is the daughter. You guys make sure to know that I reference the mother and the daughter, because these 2 together are definitely a pair. Any type of notes that you may be taking, if you're making flashcards, that's definitely helpful. Making some notes and you're jotting things down, you're making your own flashcards. And to go along with those study materials, any type of online study materials that you guys may be using to quiz yourself. Shout out to Glenfully Royal, because she did inform me that she's been using the Lab CE and the Media Lab for practice exams. And I also did use some practice exams online. I think I purchased mine through the Ascp website, so you can definitely check out Lab CE and Media Lab to get those quizzes, because it's like sets of quizzes that you guys can take as many times as you want in like a 90-day period. That's the one that I did, but just go online, check it out. Some may be free, some may be like $30 to access it for just say 90 days. But just check out those online quizzes, because they normally quiz you the same set of questions through the same chapters, like fixation, processing, special stains. Those definitely come in handy. So shout out to you, Glenfully Royal, for suggesting those online quizzes, because they definitely can come in handy. All right, so the next strategy would be to understand what you're studying. It's very, very imperative that you take your time in studying. So it's something that you don't quite understand, take your time in that chapter. I do not stress enough to you guys that there is no rush whenever you are studying for your BOC. But if you already have your exam scheduled, then that's going to be you on crunch time. So I highly suggest that you get enough studying in first. That way you then set a scheduled date for the BOC. So some tips on understanding what you're reading first. So start with the chapter that you know that you're about to study. So if you're studying fixation first, I say reread the chapter as many times as you possibly can. Ask any questions to any classmates, because sometimes classmates may understand things, or they probably can break something down in a better term for you to be able to actually comprehend it. Always ask your professor online. Maybe go to Quizlet, maybe go to those study guides, because understanding what you're reading is very, very important. And if you guys are like me, a lot of you out there, if this is your first time actually even hearing about histology, knowing about histology, still trying to understand what is a histotech, then you are learning these things and these terminology for the very first time, and that's okay. I've been there and I still learn things every day. Some of these terminology, some of these fixatives, like
osmotium textosteride.
Look at that. I still get tongue-tied. Booleans, gender, what is it, Holland. These are just like off the dome. Like I haven't even like looked at fixation in a very long time, but just these different types of fixatives that you guys will be learning. And also too, you have to actually learn what type of tissue these fixatives are good for. So it's a lot to retain. The key is to make sure that you are understanding what you're reading and not rushing through that chapter. So the goal is to make sure that you understand exactly what a fixative is, and also to the different types of fixatives and what they do and how they penetrate the tissue. The main thing is, whenever you're looking at the chapter, make sure that you are remembering the different types of fixative and what they're used for. And then also too, you'll start to make little, key notes and key phrases, so you exactly know what fixative is best for what.
Whenever you are reading through your fixatives, you need to know about zinc salts, potassium dichromate.
It has to be washed as well. So the three pigments is chromatic pigments, formalin pigment, and mercury pigment. So if they ask you what are the three pigments, chromium, the mercury, and the formalin pigment. So those are the three pigments. So whenever you're reading through this fixative chapter, just try to group things together. So if they say this also needs to be washed, so make sure you write that down. Or this needs to be washed after zincers, make sure you write that down. So if you know that B5, if you know mercuric chloride is inside of B5, if you're using mercuric chloride and you know mercuric chloride is in a B5 fixative, then you know you need to wash it, because you can get mercury, or you can get that pigment that cannot be prevented but can be removed. So you really just have to take the time to break and understand what you're reading in this book. And those fixatives, just in that fixative chapter, it is probably one of the hardest chapters to really grasp and understand. I have to be real with you guys. Fixation and special stains will probably be the hardest part on your exam. Those are the main two things that I know that I had to really study my best on, because understanding all the fixatives and then understanding everything that's in your special stains is very, very important. And that's not even including remembering the pictures, because those pictures will be on your exam. But you have to understand the special stains, what each component is being stained, and what's the color that is going to what is going to show the end result. So that's how special stains work. But in fixation, you need to remember what is in each fixative and why you cannot use that fixative for certain fixation of certain tissues. Very, very important. So fixation, spend as much time as you possibly can on fixation. That is major key. As much time as you can on fixation. That strategy right there, breaking down them fixatives, writing down that fixative, making your flashcards on fixation, all those fixatives will be on the ASCP.